Shawty bad, and she fine.
Today we're reacting to Saddest Backstories Ever by Derek. Let's get into it.
Could turn a pretty boring character into a beloved character within seconds. The empathy we feel for the character connects us to them. They don't necessarily have to be just like us or go through the same things we did. Like, I know I didn't come from space and my clan definitely didn't get massacred, but I'm still both of these people and these people and these people. Today, ladies and gentlemen, I'll be going over some of the saddest backstories in history. Backstories so sad, they'll give you clinical depression. Like, take for instance,
Peak.
now, if you know Naruto, you know it has some sad backstories. Every single one of these dudes went through something
My goat.
traumatic in their childhood. And that's no exaggeration. Naruto had a demon locked in him. Sasuke lost his whole clan. Choji was fat. Everybody went through it.
What's wrong with Choji being a little overweight? What's wrong with that, pal? I got my eyes on you. But you good, Derek. You good, Derek. We respect you.
Dudes got Marvin's Room and 17 on repeat. But amongst all these super sad Naruto backstories, the saddest one has to go to my boy Itachi. Now, Kakashi's is pretty sad too, I can't lie. But I think Itachi's is a little sadder. Itachi was born in the middle of the third grade ninja.
No. Haku had the baddest sad story. Saddest, like, super sad. His family got massacred by Zabuza. Then he got taken by Zabuza and died by Zabuza.
War with
just a bad taking on, did you know?
Like being born in World War II. He was a very gifted child. They say he had the reasoning of Hokage at the age of 7. And have y'all seen my boy cook an egg? And while one might see these talents as a blessing, they were also a curse, because they eventually led to him joining a group called the Anbu at the very young age of 11. And if y'all ain't know, the people in the Anbu are no bueno. They pretty much did all the dirty and evil work for the Leaf Village. They're kind of like some organizations in real life. So being in a group like that at the age of 11 is insane. When I was 11, GTA 5 had just come out, and I was still too scared to go to the big heel place on the map by myself.
When I was 11, Fortnite came out. I'm still in my youth.
There's no way I would have been able to hang. Imagine being in the freaking ninja CIA. And not only that, but bro became the captain of them at the age of 13. So you know he had to handle some way darker and way more messed up missions. And that leads us to the saddest part of Itachi's backstory, the massacre of his entire clan. And the worst part is it was all done by him. Well, some was done by Obito, but it was mainly him. And while this might look terrible on paper, because, you know, you can't exactly make a YouTube apology video for murking your entire clan, Itachi practically had no choice. He was 13 at the time, and he hated war. So when this ugly, crusty, old piece of Shanzo gave Itachi an ultimatum, his hands were pretty much tied.
Did you dare talk about Danzo in that manner?
Pretty much told him he could either murk his entire clan and save his brother while also preventing a war, or they'll do it themselves. And obviously, we know what he chose. And that's what makes this the saddest one in Naruto. He couldn't do nothing about it. He killed his mom, his dad, his girl, bro, his girl. And it's not like anybody knows how noble he is. At the end of the show, I'm pretty sure 99.9% of the cast, except maybe Neji, because, you know, thinks Itachi is a horrible person. And they're not completely wrong. He did torture Sasuke and murk innocent children, but it was to protect y'all sorry butts.
Is there something wrong with that?
And y'all sorry ass future. It's just too sad, man. It's too sad. But this sad stuff is a common occurrence in anime. Like, take the GOAT of sad backstories, for example, Demon Slayer. This show is so good at giving people tragic backstories, it makes you feel bad. For example, sorry butts and y'all sorry ass future. It's just too sad, man. It's too sad. But this sad stuff is a common occurrence in anime. Like, take the GOAT of sad backstories, for example, Demon Slayer. This show is so good at giving people tragic backstories, it makes you feel bad for objectively bad people. People who have killed hundreds, if not thousands of innocents. You start shedding a tear for them. Now imagine we replace one of these demons.
We felt bad about Thanos. He murdered 1 trillion.
With a bad person from our world, like Bill Cosby. Y'all see what I'm saying?
Why Bill Cosby catching the strays? Stop! God.
Junk would not fly in the real world. Not a single tear will be shed. The show Little Bill could have been a 4-season explanation of how much Bill Cosby's life sucked. And still, I'm not crying. Only way I even consider even feeling a little bad for him is if he has a backstory like my boy.
Depression. This whole film was just depression.
This old man, not only have I shed a tear for him, but he could commit almost any crime, and I'm forgiving him. He could be stealing candy from a baby, leak GTA 6. He could rob me. I'm forgiving him.
I don't know about that rob part, but
his backstory is just as sad. I am 1000% sure when the producers of this movie finished those first 12 minutes, they were like, yep, they're gonna need antidepressants after this one. So we open with this little...
What? Wait, are we getting double audio? Okay, I'll check back later. I think I'm getting double audio, so.
Little kid in the theater. That's our boy Carl. And since he's still a kid, he still has all that passion, that dream big mentality we all had as kids. Now I'm just trying to make it through the day. And while some kids want to be athletes, so we finish forgetting, and a little bad for him is if he has a backstory like my boy. Now this old man, not only have I shed a tear for him, but he could commit almost any crime, and I'm forgiving him. He could be stealing...
I don't know about that crime part.
Candy from a baby, leak GTA 6. He could rob me. I'm forgiving him. His backstory is just as sad. I am 1000% sure when the producers of this movie finished those first 12 minutes, they were like, yep, they're gonna need antidepressants after this one. So we open with this little kid in the theater. That's our boy Carl, who has all that passion, that dream big mentality we all had as kids. Now I'm just trying to make it through the day. And while some kids want to be astronauts, ninjas, y'all know, all that cool stuff, Carl, he wants to be an adventurer, a pilot. And one day while walking, he hears a voice coming from this abandoned house. And when he gets in there, he meets this girl named Ellie, who is probably the most passionate and energetic little girl in existence. Like, she's actually a little crackhead, but she loves adventuring. And that was enough for my boy Carl to fall in love. Carl eventually makes a promise to Ellie to travel to Paradise Falls with her, and this little promise was the start of their relationship. They get married, they buy a house, they fix the house, they go on picnic dates, they work with parrots. Parrots, ladies and gentlemen, parrots. Everything was going splendid. Eventually they want to have a baby, or 9 babies. That's cool too. But sadly, they end up losing the baby, or all 9 of them, I don't know. This scene is actually so sad. But Carl, being the W husband that he is, cheers Ellie up by reminding her of Paradise Falls and that promise they made as kids. And that one little reminder changed everything. They start grinding, stacking up that paper. Oh snap, a tire blew up. No biggie, we'll just get back on track. I mean, it's good. We just gotta adjust. We gotta... With all these setbacks,
I feel like this movie, the reason it was so sad is because it's actually like so real. Like inconveniences that happen in life. Like,
eventually forget about Paradise Falls and become 2 adorable old people. But one day Carl is reminded of Paradise Falls again, and it makes him feel sad that he was never able to fulfill his promise to his wife. And that's when he gets an amazing idea. My boy gets them 2 tickets to Paradise Falls, their dream so close to being fulfilled. But as Ellie is coming up the hill to get her gift, she collapses. And then we see her and Carl in the hospital. And then
I can't watch this scene.
Why they had to do him like that, man? She didn't even get to go to Paradise Falls. Now my boy Carl is lonely. This movie makes me look at bitter old people in a different light. So next time you're out shopping, you see an old white lady just mean mugging you or saying mean things or following you through the aisles, don't assume the worst.
I live in the South, so I assume the worst.
Be considerate, guys. She's probably just racist or lost her husband. I don't know.
First one.
Some of y'all might recognize this image, and if you do, I feel
I don't.
And those who don't, it's from the short 3-minute video that was posted 10 years ago. Damn! And while I may
my elder
not have as many views as the movie Up, it's debatably sadder. Kind of like Up, we follow this boy and girl who meet after the boy protects the girl from a bunch of bullies. He still gets beat up, but it's sweet. Then on the boy's birthday, after no one shows up, the girl does, with a birthday card, and the boy is so happy, and it's the sweetest thing ever. I mean, look at it. After that, we watch them grow up together. From kids to teens to adults. And as you can see, they're dating. These 2 are in love, ladies and gentlemen. He even gets her a dog. Things are going so perfect, you kind of forget the title of this video is Life Isn't Perfect. And we learned that very soon. Anyways, they eventually get married.
W's in the shot.
And if you pause it right here, you can see she's pregnant.
W's in the shot.
Aw, come on. Just like in Up, these 2 sadly lost their baby. But in this case, they decide to adopt. And I'm not gonna lie, call me Ed. These
W's in the sh.
oh, come on. Just like in Up, these two sadly lost their baby. But in this case, they decided to adopt. And I'm not gonna lie, call me Ed, but for some reason, first time I watched this, I thought the dog was gonna eat the kid. I don't know. And again, everything is going good with the family. Things are beautiful. Things are magnificent. Maybe life really is perfect. Oh, come on. They killed the dog, man. The dog. What the dog do? This is normally the point where I would start crying, but it gets worse. A few years go by and the dad gets a call that his wife has the Walter White disease. And to make things
Cancer.
even worse than worse, they don't have enough money to pay for the treatment because, you know, medical system. But the dad gets an
What was that clip from? Yo, someone found that clip for me.
opportunity to make a lot of money. The only catch is it's the military. So he says bye to his kid.
He's getting backed up. Realistically, he's getting wrapped up. He's getting put into a bag. He's getting toted. This man is getting a walk now by the military.
Kid and his wife.
You're either going to get a KIA or MIA. I'm thinking
He's
KIA.
shipped off into the battlefield, and y'all know how war goes. His friend is shot first, and when things are looking extremely grim, he sits down and pulls out his pocket the birthday card his wife gave him when they were kids. And then he just dies. He dies.
Bang, murked, headshot.
And it ends with his kid as an adult and his family at the cemetery where we see his wife died too.
Dang. Shame.
This is easily one of the saddest videos on the internet. And it's crazy because it's so sad, but it's still not sadder than the last person I have on this list.
It all began on the
Yo,
day of my
doctor.
actual birth.
When it comes to sad backstories, nobody has anything on this man. Not Itachi, not Carl, not Guts. This man has truly gone through it all. Doof was born in the very brown
Neglect.
country of Druselstein, where both his parents failed to show up to his birth.
Why? What for?
I don't know. Don't ask me how. Doofenshmirtz
I'm asking you, Mr. Derek. This photograph, I feel very
didn't have the
aggressive.
best childhood. On top of being constantly bullied, Doof was a very lonely kid. He had no one to look to. Only things he really looked forward to were his garlic ice cream and his giant pet cockroach. Even on his birthday, the day you're supposed to feel like the most special person in
He said roach.
the world, he would have to throw himself a surprise birthday party. What's the surprise?
That's sad.
That no one showed up again? And one might wonder, well, where are his parents? They surely should be around. Doof's parents freaking suck. They're actually terrible. Top 3 worst in cartoon history. And they take up
Hey, is
two.
that Susan? Okay. Susan. Timmy Turner's parents. I don't know who they are. Is that Tommy? Tom Cruise? Not Tom Cruise. His name will come to me.
Slots. But this isolation he experienced could have played a big part on why Doof was so smart. This kid was a genius, a Druselstein Einstein. So when it was finally time to display
Mirrored his cousin.
intelligence at the Druselstein Science Fair, there was no way he could lose. I mean, look at his innators. Like, who is he gonna lose to? But losing the science fair was only a small L. Not only because he lost again next year with his bigger innator, but because what happened at the Gimelstunt community pool was much worse. You see, jumping from the high dive in Gimelstunt was an extremely big deal for some reason. It was separated you from being a man and a schnitzel. So when Doof's dad told him it was his turn to do it, Doof was too scared. He couldn't jump. All those people looking at him, which really wasn't a lot of people, it was like 3. It terrified him, made him nervous. And from that point on, he was deemed a schnitzel. His parents were so embarrassed, they wore bags over their heads anytime they were seen in public with him. And he wasn't even allowed to walk too close to them. This created an even bigger gap between Doof and his already negligent, dumb, stupid, retarded parents. So it was no surprise. When his dad got an award-winning dog, he named it Only Son. Around this time was also when Doof started doing gnome work for his family. He would stand out there for hours on end. In the cold, in the snow, in the heat, not allowed to move, not allowed to eat. They had my on end. In the cold, in the snow, in the heat, not allowed to move, not allowed to eat. They had my man's out here like one of those dudes in Times Square. This was also around the time when his little brother was born. And while having siblings should be a ray of hope when you're an only child, especially in Doof's case because he was really lonely, it kind of made Doof's life worse. And not like how having a sibling normally does. I mean, like his parents borderline hated him after Roger was born. They would send him to school in dresses because they were expecting a girl. They didn't help
That's messed up.
that Roger was pretty much naturally good at the only thing his mom loved, kickball. At some point, they literally disowned Doof, and he had to live with ocelots, the cats from Minecraft. This is really messed up stuff. The only highlight in Doof's life at this point was Balloon, who was a balloon that Doof got at the carnival, and he painted a face on it. That sounds so sad. And while Balloon may have had no arms, no legs, the inability to speak, no personality, Doof loved him. That was his best friend. They were locked in. But alas, just like everything else in Doof's life, this happiness didn't last very long. On one fateful night when he was doing his typical gnome duty, by the way, his family took him back in at this point, so no confusion, Balloony started getting blown away by the wind, and Doof couldn't move. He was on gnome duty. And just like that, Balloony was gone, never to be seen again. Sorry. It's just so
It's all right.
sad.
It's all right,
That
Derek.
was only his childhood. In his teenage years, Doof still got bullied, went through breakups, had braces. Braces suck. I had them. And probably the worst of all in his teenage years, while he was doing the shadow puppetry show, which he was actually really good at, by the way, so good that he would get attention from girls in the crowd. He got his girl taken away by Huge Hands Hans, a guy with bigger fingers than him. Do y'all see what they're implying? Doof's life is just L after L after L, kind of like my goat. I mean, even in adulthood, he was dating this girl at some point that left him for a whale.
Might be time to switch teams.
A whale. This man would have every right in the world to hate society, or at the very least, his parents. They suck, but he doesn't. I mean, he is evil, but his evil isn't really that big of a deal. He usually does something stupid or unserious, like the Breadinator or something. Like, who cares? Doof doesn't let what his parents or society did to him impact how he treats the people he loves. That's why he's such a great dad to Vanessa. He knows what it means to not celebrate your birthday. He knows what it means to struggle. He knows what it means to get out the mud. He might be from the Bronx. A lot of people like to use that as a crutch. Oh, I was mistreated, so now I gotta mistreat you. Nah, we're fully functional humans. We're not input-output machines. We gotta break the cycles. Everyone should try to be more like Doof. He's not out here being negligent. He's not out here bullying people. I would say he doesn't seek revenge, but sometimes he does, I'll be honest. But overall, he's a stand-up guy. Now, other dimension Doof, his backstory, I understand why he's so evil. He has every right to hate the world. Burn it all down. Comment down below which backstory you thought was the saddest, or if I missed any other sad backstories. I know One Piece has a few, but I ain't reading all that. And moral of the story.